Up until Wednesday, there was a lull in the rice saga involving businessman Jitendra Chawla. That silence came after the courts ruled in favor of the local rice producers and ordered that he return his containers of Ghanese rice, thus taking it out of the country. Chawla's silence, however, was not a sign of resignation, but rather a time that he was taking to send out samples of local rice for testing. He sent out the results of those tests earlier this week with an allegation that the local rice that Belizeans are consuming has a cancer-causing agent called aflatoxins. The Belize Bureau of Standards fired back via a press release Wednesday, saying that is not the case, while the attorney for the local rice producers senior counsel Eamon Courtney has said that the Chawla's release amounts to a libel on the good name of his clients. Today, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry weighed in on the matter via a release that reads, quote, "The Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry BCCI condemns the allegations made this week about the Belizean rice industry. The FDA and other food safety agencies in developed countries have set allowable, meaning safe limits for aflatoxins in all foods, including milk. According to the report sent to the media, the tests allegedly carried out on Belizean rice samples found aflatoxins to be well within those limits and therefore safe for consumption. BAHA's requirement that the rice be free of microbiological contaminants and chemicals is interpreted as requiring levels within allowable limits, such as those stipulated by the FDA. These accusations are clearly without merit and obviously meant to cause consumer panic without any care for potential damage to the Belizean economy, the reputation of the rice industry, or BAHA's institutional reputation. Issuing such an inflammatory report on the rice industry is irresponsible and clearly intended to force an opening for rice importation. Belizean consumers have a right to benefit from honest competition, which encourages quality and beneficial pricing. Belizean producers who contribute to our economy should not find themselves disparaged by spurious allegations made purely for competitive gain." End of quote. For his part, Chawla has kept up the fight. He fired yet another release in response to the Belize Bureau of Standards. He says in part, quote, "With reference to the press release from the Belize Bureau of Standards, since rice is a staple food for majority of Belizeans, occurrence of aflatoxins as contaminants should be a serious health concern. Even if the levels are low, each Belizean consumes approximately 10 pounds of rice per month. So the chronic exposure and bioaccumulation of the toxin at the end of the year can be harmful. Chronic effects, repeated exposure to low or even very low doses are the most worrying because of eating habits and the lasting effect of the toxins." Acknowledging that the competent authorities are the departments to whom the letter and test results were sent twice and no response was forthcoming. Perhaps then the media can get answers to the questions from the Bureau of Standards and BAHA to provide the results of testing on food products over the last 5 years, and specifically to let the public know how much of their sincere effort and attention is allocated to do testing to safeguard the health of the nation against biological and chemical contaminants." End of quote. Chawla in his response added that he would be willing to finance the cost of testing for any of the local samples so that the question of integrity can be addressed. His release ended with, quote, "Our intention is in keeping our sincere promise to Belizeans to be able to enjoy safe, wholesome, quality food at affordable prices." End of quote.